Welcome to Get Dressed with Merrick. Today we're going to talk about tiered dresses like this one. It is a huge trend for 2021. I actually bought this last year. It's no longer available. It's from Madewell. But I bought it last year, and these kind of tiered dresses are everywhere this year. If you want to check out some, I linked some on my blog post. I will link that below so you can check those out if you're interested in adding one to your closet. They're just such a fun, breezy, feminine, pretty dress for spring and summer. Also, if you have areas you want to camouflage in your middle area or your hips or legs or whatever, this is just a great option because it just flows over everything. But one question that I've been getting a lot from you guys as this kind of dress is becoming more popular is how to layer with it, if you're allowed to belt it, or like if you can belt it, how that all works. So I shared some tips in today's blog post. I will link that below, but I also want to walk you through a couple of examples. When I posted about tiered dresses in my Instagram post this morning, somebody commented about how this kind of dress is not necessarily flattering for bigger chested women, especially if the neck is higher. And yes, that certainly can be true. If there was no slit here and you were bigger chested, it just kind of comes out and then straight down, and that can be quite unflattering. You know what I mean? Just like a big tent here. And so you do want to be careful with that. If you are larger chested, definitely look for ones that are more open here. If you can see more of your neck and that's open here, that's going to be much more flattering here. And then I'm also going to talk about belting it and then also layering over the top of it, which can help minimize kind of that tent feel. Okay, if you're just going to wear it as is without any layers or belting it or anything, I would recommend doing a shoe that shows a good amount of your foot. If a lot of your foot is covered up, you have all of your body covered up with no shape and then all of your foot covered up, and you just like, it's too covered. You don't see any of your body. So look for a shoe that shows your foot, specifically the top of your foot. Cutout sandals, strappy sandals like this, both really good options. You could also wear wedges or high heels. I would be careful with some like stiletto heels, like pointed toe stilettos, which I own a lot of, but with a dress like this that's so wide at the bottom and then you get this high heel, it just kind of makes your foot look so tiny compared to the width of the dress. It just kind of throws the proportions off. Let me see if I can show you an example. Okay, here's an example. Like, it's not terrible, but I just feel like it makes your foot just kind of get lost under there. It's like this big dress and like no foot. Can you tell? I don't know. I just don't love it. You could also absolutely wear sneakers underneath here, just as long as they're slim fit and low cut. I think that can look really cute for spring if you want something a little bit less of a sandal. Okay, let's talk about belting. I created a chart in my blog post. I will link below. You can check that out. Can you belt tiered dresses? Yes, but not all tiered dresses are created equal. So you're just gonna have to be a little bit careful as you belt it, and it might take a little trial and error. So I hope that you recognize that this is not a good dress, tiered dress to belt. And it is because it has this seam across here, and my natural waist is where my belt sits, and that is below that seam. If my body type allowed for the belt to sit right there comfortably and not slide down, which it would, then go for it if it can cover that seam. If not, don't. A tiered dress like this, the seam here is right at my waistband or right at my natural waist. And so it makes a lot more sense for me to belt it right here because the belt will sit nicely right at my natural waist and not show that seam. Okay, so if tiered dresses are just feeling too flowy, no shape for you, toss on a belt. You can do a thicker belt, you can do a skinny belt, you can do a medium width belt. It just automatically pulls your waist in, pulls all that fabric in, and makes it feel less overwhelming to your body. I particularly like to do this with the longer tiered midi dresses or maxi dresses. I don't wear anything floor length, but like, you know, this longer length, because it just kind of helps give you shape. Back to this dress for a minute to talk about layers. So you can totally layer jackets or blazers or sweaters over the top of this, but the thing about this kind of dress is it gives you no shape through here. And so the longer your layers are, the less shape you're gonna get. Let me show you. Okay, here's a bad example. A good example of a bad option. Okay, look, I have literally no shape. It is just like boxy, nothing, overwhelming, so much fabric. Do not do long layers like this with a long tiered. Instead, try something like this that is cut a little bit higher. This is even a little long, but I still like it. But like that gives you a spot at your waist when it's high up like this. Also, this jacket has like princess seams here that curve a little bit to your body shape and just give you some shape so it's not too boxy. That is good. This is a much better option. I hope you can tell the difference. Here is another bad option. This is a little bit shorter, but still you're just getting no shape. This is just boxy and big, and you just are like drowning under fabric with zero shape. You see it? Okay, here is a longer option, but look at how this blazer is tailored here and gives me some beautiful shape underneath there. So this is better. If you're gonna go longer, choose something that has that shape built in. Okay, I hope that was helpful. You can check out the blog post. I'll link it below so you can check that out with the different tips and links to stuff and some tiered dress shopping options.